Hello viewers, I'm Mohit Wag and today I will be teaching you about the working of modern steam power plant. Once you are done with this module, the steam power plant's layout will be on your fingertips. We'll go to the basic layout, then the working principle of the steam power plant, then the components, introduction to various cycles of the plant, and finally sum up everything. As you see on the screen, this is the basic layout of the steam power plant. The boiler heats up the water which comes from the pump. The boiler heats the water to steam and this steam goes to the turbine. In the turbine, the steam rotates the shaft which turns the generator and produces electricity. Finally, this steam has to be condensed with the help of the condenser and comes in form of the water and is given out. Now, as we have seen the basic cycle, we also see some formulas and how to calculate the efficiency of the steam power plant. This is just a basic structure, but we can find in a real steam power plant many more activities involved and it would make a complex graph. This is a TS diagram for a Rankine cycle. A steam power plant works on the principle of Rankine cycle. From 1 to 2, as we see, is the pump work given in. 2 to 3 is the heat given in by the boiler. 3 to 4 is the work given out by the turbine, which is the electricity production. And 4 to 1 is the condenser heat given out. So the efficiency formula is the net work done upon the heat given in. And as you know, the net work is the work done by the turbine minus the pump work. Pump work is almost negligible, and the heat in the denominator is the heat given in by the boiler. So here you see the components of the steam power plant. This diagram looks little complicated. Now let me make a simpler diagram for you and I will explain it the whole cycle with the help of the diagram. Now this is the diagram. Let's begin. Firstly, let's start with the boiler, which is the center hub for the which is the center hub and the heart of the steam power plant. So in the boiler, we need we need fuel for burning. The fuel is coal or any other fuel. It comes into the boiler and after burning the ashes go out. In the boiler we need water. It comes through the pump below from a reservoir. But wait, on the way we see something. This is the economizer. This is an extra additional device. The flue gases coming out of the boiler help to heat the water before going into the boiler, thus saving our fuel energy for heating the water. We also have a air preheater. This helps the air going into the boiler for combustion to get heated. This is also heated by the leftover energy by the flue gases. Finally, the flue gases flow out through the chimney. Now everything is into the boiler, it gets heated, the water gets into steam and then moves out of the boiler. But we need superheated steam so that no moisture is left in the turbine. So superheater helps heating the steam into superheated steam. After that the steam moves to the turbine. Now in the turbine it rotates the turbine. There can be a series of turbines in the real steam power plant. Here I have shown only one. Now this turbine shaft rotates because of the hot steam and which is connected to the generator. The generator in turn rotates and produces electricity, which is passed on to our homes. Now, what about this hot steam? It has to be cooled down. It goes to the condenser. In the condenser, a cooling cycle is involved, which helps cooling the steam into water by removing the latent heat. It does not change the temperature of the steam, but cools down the steam from steam to water. And finally, the water goes back to the reservoir and the treatment plant, and again the cycle goes on and on. Now, during this cycle, we have encountered some small cycles in between. There are major four cycles involved in the steam power plant: the coal and ash circuit, air and flue gas circuit, water and steam circuit, cooling water circuit. Now, we will go through each one by one in detail. This is the air and flue gas circuit. As the fan draws in air, which is to be supplied to the boiler, on the way it gets heated by the air preheater through the flue gases. Now, from where does the flue gases come? The boiler leaves out flue gases, which heats the water in economizer, heats the air in air preheater. Now, the flue gases are contaminated. They have lot of dust particles, soot. These should not be given to the environment. Thus, for our protection and environmental protection, precipitators precipitate this soot and give out the gases through the chimneys at a very higher level so that humans are, and animals are not affected. Next, we have the water and steam circuit. It is the main circuit in this steam power plant. The water comes in through the pump from the reservoir, then goes to the economizer, boiler, then superheater, then goes to the turbine, gets condensed, and comes back to the well. I think you're familiar with this now. Next, we have the cooling water circuit. So, the condenser which condenses the steam acts like a heat exchanger. Now, the hot steam interacts with the cooling water coming from the cooling tower. This water becomes hot and goes back to the cooling tower. The cooling tower has a very large surface area and air circulation so that the water becomes cool. Now, this water goes to the reservoir. Finally, last one is the coal and ash circuit. Large amount of coal is required daily to function a steam power plant. Trains deliver coal to the bunkers, then through large conveyor belts, the coal moves to a crusher, then magnetic separation occurs. Coal is made into fine powder so that fueling is easy to the boiler. Now, through conveyors, bucket elevators, and various other equipments, the coal is fed to the boiler. After that, the coal gets out as ash. This ash is deposited in large areas or put into water bodies after treatment. Now we are done with all the four cycles. Thus, a steam power plant is a major source of power production and is a very important asset for a economy. Well, without a steam power plant, electricity production would be very low. In absence of uh, growth in huge growth in renewable sources, still steam power plant is the major hub for a country. I hope now steam power plant would be on your fingertips. A quick recap: this is the this is the animated picture, and I hope now you have understood about it. Thank you.